I've lined all these drams up. What are the odds, knowing me, that they stay in that place? I'm going to send a couple of them flying, of course. Stay tuned to see what happens. But today is Sunday the 24th. It's the last one, the last box in the Master of Malt Build Your Own Advent Calendar. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm not going to waffle too much now. I'm going to go straight into it. But what I want to give you is I'm filming straight after this a kind of summing up review of the year, and it will go out on this channel as well. There's a couple of things a few things coming in that channel. I'm going to talk about this and my overall opinions of this box, value for money and all that. I've got a couple of things to sum up about Jamaica from September and a little bit of October as well. So that Jamaica favourite rums. There's a couple of rums that I haven't featured yet. I've been the videos that I was going to that I'd filmed, like the Worthy Select and a couple of other things. So I'm gonna talk about them in there, that whole thing. I'm going to sum up because there's still a couple of rums that I need to kind of sort of feature a little bit, and they don't really deserve their own, because I know what my views are going to be. They don't deserve their own videos in their own right. And then when we get into January, I'm going to announce what January's theme is and February's theme is on this channel. So yeah, it's going to kind of be a loose one. I think it's probably going to go out Boxing Day. Moving swiftly on. Hello, rum friends. Welcome back. At the very last box, the 24th. I'm hoping there's going to be like a bar of chocolate or something in here as well. Little special, something a bit special, like foam or encrusted real. Oh, I've destroyed the bottom now. Oh, here we go. Look. Right, let's get this out. Oh, it's white. Oh, I thought I had an idea of what, because I thought there was a rum that I'd added that hadn't come out yet, and it wasn't. I wasn't expecting that. So that's interesting. What is it? Interesting. Now, I do actually remember adding this to the box. I don't know what I've done here, but you know, there was something I was convinced I knew what was coming out. But well, I don't know. Anyway, for those of you that don't know what this is, I'm very sorry, US, but this is a Cuban rum, and it's a rum that I've never had and I wanted to try. It's not that expensive. I'll tell you now, it's $24.95 a bottle. That translates to 32 US dollars, 29 euros, 47 Australian dollars, and 42 rounded up 43 Canadian dollars. But this is a Cuban white rum that you would potentially have. So in the UK market, this would go up along against, you know, Ron Cube, the white. It would go up against Santiago de Cuba. It would go up against Havana 3-year-old. Probably Havana you'd expect to be a little bit more because it aged. It's a slightly different profile. And then around the world, it's going to go against Don Q Cristal. It's going to go definitely against Bacardi Carblanca. Well, it shouldn't be going against Bacardi Carblanca, but and all that. So this is a Spanish column still, or Cuban, Spanish style Cuban column still white unaged rum. I think it's pretty much unaged. As much as I know about Legendary, I don't know. Now I'm going to do this off camera, and then I'll cut this in. But I'm going to do a daiquiri test with this. So I'm not going to try and, I mean, it's only a 30ml dram, so it's going to be a mini daiquiri, but I just, yeah. Oh, now there isn't much aroma going on here, but for those that do say that column still rum is, you know, is flavourless or, you know, doesn't have much going on, think again, because you do get sort of an appley, florally kind of citrus vibe going on there. Look, nothing remotely close to that sort of vibe that you get off Martinique agricoles. But again, you haven't got that sort of agricole, that cane juice vibe going on. It's kind of, molasses does give you unaged molasses does give you a very different vibe. But the column still, the lightness of this, there is this green, tart, green, appley kind of vibe going on. You don't mistake that for being floral. And I'm actually going to be bold and say I get a little bit of custard. My head's gone custard instead of vanilla. I don't know. Don't ask me why. Advocate Warnix. Might be because I've been playing with that a little bit in the last few days. I don't know. But my head has gone to custard vibes with the whole apple as opposed to vanilla. Don't ask me why. But look, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Is there like bags of different stuff going on in it compared to a Martinique agricole, an unaged agricole? No, not even remotely close. But we are not used to that with the Spanish style column still rums, white unaged. You know, they are, in the grand scheme of things, I was going to say neutral. I don't mean neutral because vodka is neutral. These are not neutral, but compared to them, they are, if you know what I mean. So hopefully, you know, in El Dorado 3, a plantation of 3 stars, a Dorley's, you know, because they have been aged in barrels and in charcoal filtered, you do get a lot more vanilla. You do get a little bit of tropical fruit. With these, because these are not aged in, well, they might be sourced charcoal filtered. They've been rested for like 3 or 4 months, depending on what they, you know, depending on how they've been rested for that length of time, you know. But you don't get those vanilla-y tropical fruit notes. It is a very different vibe. I'm looking forward to this because this could be right on my money for daiquiris. Wow, that punches in ways I wasn't expecting. That's quite rich. That's quite unctuous. That's quite definitely not neutral. Rum. Oh, this is going to be really stupid now. Rum. It tastes like rum. It tastes like I've said this a few times through this, you know, through this chapter. I was going to say through this month. I've never done it, but if I bitten into fresh cane, and for what I've read about it and what I've heard people describe it as, I'm expecting fresh cane to not taste too dissimilar to that, except that's obviously alcoholic, if you know what I mean. So get past that whole alcohol, I get this sugary, a little bit of faint citrus, a little bit of, you know, florally floweriness to it, but I get this kind of overriding cane kind of thing, sugar thing go. Not sweet. I want to emphasize that again. I don't mean sweet. I'm expecting. I need to go and see. What's he called? Gary the Juice, where John from Goldstone gets his juice from in London, who juices fresh sugar. I need to go in there and try some fresh sugarcane juice. That's going to be my mission for early 2024. I've never had fresh sugarcane juice, so I want to go and taste it. But that's kind of interesting. Something in me. Now, with some white unaged rums, I really think of them as lovely sipping rums. This is a lovely sipping rum. I potentially have better. So, okay, let's talk about this. If I'm going white sipping rum, ignoring the British guys, I know this is Cuban and you US guys are not going to get that, but I need to talk worldwide, if you know what I mean, if I can, so you can comprehend this. If I'm going neat white sipping rum, I'm potentially going Santa Teresa Claro, and I think it's tucked away behind there. Can I get it? Oh, yeah, you can probably see it there. The Diplomatico Planus. You know, I'm probably going those because they have got bags and bags of flavour, nearly fell off, for unaged rums. This is a lovely, rounded, smooth, mellow sipping rum, but it doesn't have the character that these does. This, for me, is, I would firmly put it on the mixing rum, the daiquiri side of things. And to relate this to Chairman's Reserve, I think this has probably got a little bit more body than the Chairman's Reserve, but I do get those fruit notes and loads of other stuff going on with the Chairman's Reserve. It's still nice and light, but I do get that. They're very different vibes going on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cut, and I'm gonna come back in with a daiquiri. Quite possibly the smallest daiquiri I've ever made. I've still got a little bit in there. 15 mil. I had to shake it with 2 solid ice cubes so I didn't get a slush puppy, because if you ever shake small amounts, you kind of go slush puppy and if you use too much ice. That is actually a really decent daiquiri. Now, for my criteria, the stereotypical archetypal daiquiri: light, clean, crisp, bright. Check, 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 check. It actually has quite a little bit of depth of flavour to it. So, I don't know. And then where can you get it? You know, the US market, well, you're not. The US market, this is the thing. Comparing, like, I know some of the US market would have been to Cuba and, you know, some of those islands had Cuban rum before. But it's a very different thing because I don't really compare Cuban rums to the likes of Don Q Cristal. I think Cuban, and I do really like that, but I think Cuban rums have actually more flavour, more character to them. So for me, that for me has actually got a little bit of the character of something like the Diplomatico Plus. The Diplo's a lot stronger, 47%. I'm not getting bogged down. 47%, I think it is, and the Claro's 4. The Claro's got a little bit of aging on it, and that has got a little bit more. But do you know what? This is Cuban rums, because of the aguardiente that they use, you know, so they blend aguardiente with destilado, etc., etc. Because of that sort of finer character of rums that they're using, and different Cuban rums to use different amount, without getting too technical and, you know, leading you off too many garden paths. You know, the Cuban rums that use different percentages of aguardiente and better, and, you know, different aguardiente. So cheaper Cuban rums use less of the good stuff. Aguardiente is the good stuff. You know, the more expensive Cuban rums use more of it. So you get that. I'd potentially put this, I don't know, I'd potentially put this as one of the better quality Cuban white unaged rums up there. This is actually really delicious. It does give you nice, flowery, little bit of hint of citrus, but kind of like that sugary vibe. It makes a very delicious daiquiri. I love this daiquiri. But at that price point here in the UK, even though it's not Cuban, I'm still going the Chairman's Reserve white. I'm not sure whether that would display, again, I'd need a lot more of it and do this properly. I'm not sure if it displays, and I haven't restocked it for ages because I haven't been down those rabbit holes. But a Ron Cuba, I haven't even got it here, have I? Here we go. Let's get it. Here we go. I've got a little bit left. You know, we can do a little side by side. We can. So I'm literally revisited this in months and months and months because I've been very focused on, you know, I haven't gone off on tangents. I've been very focused on what I've been doing. You know, so I haven't actually looked at, apart from neat sipping and that, I haven't really looked at different rums other than the countries I've been focusing on. So May, June time was probably the last time I looked at it up. Right. Oh, that's interesting. Cuba's got a lot more flavour, a lot more character, less cane juice, like sugar, like cane, less cane vibe, less sugar vibe. Don't mean sweet. Again, I want to emphasise that. I don't know any other way to describe it. I don't mean sweet, but this tastes like cane, how I'm picturing or imagining cane to taste. There's all kinds of fruit going on there. Very different. Very, very different. Yes, the Legendario is cheaper. Again, by a couple of quid. Not massively. Probably not even a couple of quid. I won't get out. There's not much in there either. I think I would need to have it. They're very different, actually. I think I would need to have a really good play with them. At face value, that is a cracking daiquiri. So it's not more of a case of I prefer that to that or that to that. I think I don't need 2 bottles in my collection. So perhaps I might get the Legendario next if I need to. Because, I mean, the Chairman's Reserve White does the job that I want from these style of rums, if you know what I mean. Even though that solution that really does that daiquiri, clean, crisp, and bright, that really does the job for daiquiris. Daiquiris are my kind of non-negotiable. That is my daiquiri rum. Has been for ages now, since the blind tasting I did probably a year ago. I don't know. I don't think these give me the fruity vibe that the Chairman's White does. And I know it's Cuba versus St. Lucia. I get it. But I'm probably sticking to that, to be honest. Don't think I'm comparing it to Plantation 3 stars or Dawley's. Again, very, very different vibes. Eldorado 3, Dawley's, Eldorado 3-year-old, Plantation 3 stars. You get a lot of vanilla. You've got barrel aging going on there. You don't with these. You get that light, clean, crisp. It's a very different type of rum. Don't think they are flavourless. Don't think they're without character. They are delicious in their own right. But I don't think there's enough on that Legendary. And I don't think there's enough on that Cuvée to actually displace that, if I'm being brutally honest. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I was thinking, what's going on now? Merry Christmas. I hope you have a really good day, a really good night tonight. If you're watching this as soon as it comes out, I hope you have a cracking day tomorrow. Whether this summing up video drops on Boxing Day or not, I don't know. It'll be roughly between 26th and 28th. It'll be sometime around there. Thank you for everything this year. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.